And our leader of the People's Liberation Party, Martha Karua, is speaking unbowed after Tanzania deported her back to Kenya. Karua, who arrived at the Jomo Kenyatta Airport at about 4:30 p.m. Sunday, says she was denied entry into Tanzania and detained at the Julius Nyerere International Airport for close to 6 hours. Karua and her colleagues were set to observe the trial of opposition leader Tundu Lissu, who is facing charges of treason. Catherine Omando reports on this latest incident that sheds unfavorable light on the East African region's freedoms.
Senior Counsel Martha Karua's ordeal began Sunday morning at around 9 a.m. when she and 2 other colleagues arrived at the Julius Nyerere International Airport in Dar es Salaam. She says on arrival it was an unusual experience.
We were denied entry. I particularly was asked why I was going to Tanzania. And I said I was a guest of the East Africa Law Society. At that stage, the immigration officer took my passport, told me to wait. After a while, he told me to go to the supervisor. While with the supervisor, Lynn and Gloria joined me, and the common thread between us was that we were guests of the East Africa Law Society.
Chilling. And she went on to share her situation on social media as they waited to know the next steps. Martha Karua and her colleagues Lynn Ngugi and Gloria Kimani were invited to Tanzania by the East Africa Law Society to observe the trial of opposition leader Tundu Lissu of the Chadema party. Lissu is facing treason and sedition charges, and the trial begins on Monday the 19th in Kisutu, Tanzania. Martha Karua and her Pan-African Progressive Leaders Solidarity Network is demanding the immediate withdrawal of charges against Lissu and all political prisoners.
If we can be detained and deported because they know that we are there to attend as observers the case against Tundu Lissu tomorrow, it means that they are violating the right to a fair public trial. As members of the public, we are entitled to enter the court and observe and see that the law is being followed. Our exclusion means that the CCM authorities are determined to violate the law and are not keen on according Tundu Lissu a fair trial.
Karua says that the Samia Suluhu administration is subverting the law as it locks up the main contender so that they can sail through unopposed. Tundu Lissu was arrested in early April at a rally where he and his Chadema party members were calling for electoral reforms, using the slogan, "No reforms, no elections." As it stands, there is no legal provision to challenge presidential election results once they're announced by the country's electoral commission. There's also a question of the independence of Tanzania's National Election Commission, since its top leaders are appointed by the president and that funding comes from the executive. On April 10th, Lissu, who has survived an assassination attempt under the rule of the late John Magufuli, was charged with treason and his party barred from participating in the general election set for later this year.
We call upon all leaders of the East African states. We notice that it's like there is now collaboration in oppressing citizens. We want to tell you that citizens of East Africa, and I am one of them, we are not going to take it lying down. We will push back, and we shall not surrender to tyranny.
Martha has also joined the legal team defending Kizza Besigye and his ally Haj Lutale, who were jailed without bail on treason charges and illegal possession of weapons. Besigye was abducted from Nairobi and delivered straight to the courts in Uganda. This latest move by the Tanzanian government has been termed as undermining free movement of citizens, labor and services within the East African community as part of regional integration, and it has elicited condemnation. Amnesty International Kenya Executive Director posted a statement on social media saying that denying Martha Karua and her colleagues access to observe the trial of Tundu Lissu undermines the fundamental rights to fair and public hearing enshrined in international human rights law, simultaneously eroding public trust in Tanzania's electoral and judicial process. If Tundu Lissu is found guilty of treason, he could face the death penalty. Catherine Omwando, NTV.